Exterior, woods, night. Darren approaches a clearing with a wire fence line. He climbs over the fence and continues into the clearing. A small, rustic, Lincoln log-style cabin sits in the middle of the clearing. He approaches the cabin, looking in vain for any signs of life. As he nears the porch, a violent flapping sound startles him as a bird flies out from under the eaves. He unlocks the door and opens it. Interior, cabin, night. He stands in the doorway for a moment. The furniture has been draped with white drop cloths, and the moonlight through the windows create an eerie, mausoleum-like ambiance. He pulls a flashlight from his pack. Turning it on, he looks around the small, one-room cabin. A double bed sits in one corner, a bunk bed along the opposite wall. There are kerosene lamps sitting in the windowsill. A wood-burning stove is in a corner of the room, with a couple of chairs sitting in front of it. He enters the room, dropping his backpack and shutting the door behind him. He pulls the drop cloth from the table, sending a cloud of dust into the air. As the dust settles, he appears to land in the shape of two figures seated at the table. Startled, Darren shines his flashlight onto the cloth-draped chairs, but sees nothing. He retrieves a lamp from the windowsill, sets it on the table, and goes to the hutch. He opens a cupboard door. There are cans of food and other staples. Behind the cans is a bottle of vodka. He hesitates a moment, then pulls the bottle out and sets it on the hutch. He pulls out the stopper and drinks deeply from the bottle. It leaves him coughing and spluttering. He wipes his lips with his sleeve. He opens a drawer and rifles through it. He opens the second drawer. The drawer is full of miscellaneous items, including a small boy doll, a box of .30-30 rifle bullets, papers, photos, pencils, and a box of matches. Darren pulls out the doll and box of matches, setting them on the top of the hutch. Under the box, he sees a crayon drawing of a mountain topped with trees, and 4 stick figures on the side of the mountain. The name Maggie scrawled in large letters across the bottom. He pulls out the drawing to look at it. Beneath the drawing is a faded snapshot of Sophia helping a young Benjamin hold aloft a small trout that is still on the line as he holds a fishing rod. He is making a sour face at the fish. He brings the doll, matches, photo, drawing, and bottle of vodka to the table. He turns off the flashlight, strikes a match, and brings it toward the wick. He nears the wick. The flame is blown out. Shaking his head, he tries another match. This one is extinguished as well.
What the hell?
He looks around the room, not seeing anything out of ordinary in the moonlit darkness. He lights a third match and covers it carefully as he finally lights the wick. He breathes out as if he has been holding his breath and puts the glass chimney on the lamp. In the light of the lamp, for a brief moment, he sees 2 figures standing behind him in the reflection of the window. He spins around again, looking for the figures behind him, but nothing is there. When he faces the window again, there's nothing there. He rubs his eyes and shakes his head as if to clear the image from his mind. With the lamp lit, he gets 2 more lamps and lights them without incident. He places one lamp on a nightstand next to the lower bunk. He places the second lamp in a hanging lamp holder near the upper bunk. The final lamp he places on the nightstand near the double bed. He then pulls the cover off a chair and places it to face the 3 beds. He retrieves the bottle of vodka and sits. He takes a long pull from the bottle, then looks at the photo and drawing. After a few more swigs, he sets the bottle on top the floor by the chair, gets up, and walks to the top bunk. He places the drawing on the pillow. Interior, dance studio, day flashback. A 5-year-old Maggie wearing a tutu performs a recital. Interior, Reed dining room, day flashback. An older Maggie draws a fantasy character while listening to earbuds, then shows him her work, nervous about his approval. Interior, cabin, night. Darren reaches out a hand, laying it on the bed where Maggie would be laying.
Hey, Max, Margaret. I know you hated that name, but if you had a little more time, you'd have come to love it.
He tries to say more, but can't. He slumps down and sits on the edge of the lower bunk. He holds the photo of Benji. Exterior, backyard, day flashback. A 10-month-old Benjamin takes his first steps between his and Sophia's outstretched arms. Interior, Darren and Sophia's bedroom, day, flashback. Sophia wakes up opposite him on their bed, the morning light streaming through the window. She sees him, smiles, and reaches toward him. A shadow rises over her, a dark shape silhouetted in the light, rising up from behind her. Her smile fades as she turns to face this new terror. Suddenly, Benjamin throws off his blanket and dives onto the bed between them, his battle cry devolving into laughter as Darren tickles him and Sophia smothers him with kisses. Interior, cabin, night.
Hey, little man. We were supposed to go on a hike together. I'm sorry I missed that. I know you're tired of waiting for me, but if you can wait just a little bit longer, I'll see you soon. Okay, bud? Okay.
Kisses the forehead of Benji in the photo and places it on the pillow. He stands and reaches in his pocket, pulling out his compass. Opening it, we see the inscription, "Happy birthday. May you always find your way home. Love, Sophia." He walks toward the double bed, sets the compass down at the foot of the bed, and kneels by Sophia's side of the bed.
Hey, Sophie. I just wanted to say, Maggie. I should have spent more time with her. She needed me. And Benjamin. My Benji.
He sobs. As he does, the needle on the compass begins to twitch.
I should have loved you better. I tried. I hope you know I tried. The road to hell, right? Paved with all my good intentions. I should have listened to you better. I should have been there for you, for all of you. You were my rock. I've got nothing left. Oh, God.
After a moment, he stands, wipes the tears from his eyes, steels himself, turns and grabs the 30-30 lever-action rifle that hangs high on the wall. The compass twitches more erratically. Determinedly, he walks to the hutch, grabs the box of bullets from the drawer, returns to his seat, and loads bullets into the magazine. The magazine full, he takes another long pull from the bottle, and then another, then drops it to the floor where it spills. Breathing heavily and gritting his teeth, he cycles the lever, loading a round into the chamber. He then sets the butt of the rifle on the floor in front of him. After a few more breaths, he places the muzzle under his chin. The compass needle spins rapidly. He reaches down the barrel to the trigger guard. He squeezes his eyes shut. He sees his wife's car tumbling down the mountain. He sees his wife and children screaming as flames erupt around them. The dust cover on the double bed begins to rise as if draped over a person sitting up in bed. With his eyes still closed, his finger finds the trigger. Suddenly, the door flies open with a loud bang. Darren opens his eyes as a fierce wind blows through the cabin. The two lamps by the bunk bed extinguish. The dust cover on the double bed flies off onto the floor, sending the compass skittering toward him on the floor, and the photo of Benji flies through the air, landing at his feet. The wind stops as suddenly as it started. Darren takes his finger off the trigger and pulls the gun from his chin. Shaking and breathing heavily, he stares at the photo on the floor. The compass needle, spinning rapidly, comes to a dead stop, pointing ahead of him. A light grows brighter and brighter on the photo and on his face until he looks up. Two hands cup a kerosene lamp directly in front of him. Startled, he looks at the hands and then at
Sophia?
Sophia's expression is one of anxiety mixed with disappointment mixed with sadness. Darren blinks his eyes.
What? You're here?
She disappears and the lamp drops to the floor. Fire erupts quickly on the floor, accelerated by the oil and the spilled vodka. Darren stands up. Sophia is gone.
Sophia!
The fire spreads quickly, catching the dust covers.
Maggie? Benji? Wait, Sophia?
He staggers forward, but the flames are too hot. He stoops to pick up the compass and tries to grab the photo, but it is burning and he singes his fingers. With the rifle still in hand, he stumbles back toward the door.
No! No!
He lingers as long as the heat will allow, then grabs his backpack and leaves the cabin.